So if you do the Lewis structure for each one of these, carbon makes 4 bonds, it has no lone pairs. Hydrogen makes 1 bond, it has no lone pairs. Nitrogen makes 3 bonds, and it has 1 lone pair on it. Oxygen makes 2 bonds, and it has 2 lone pairs. So all the oxygens there should have 2 lone pairs. All the nitrogens should have 1 lone pair. There's only 1 nitrogen, and that's it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 oxygens. 2, 3, 4, 5 oxygens. So that's 10. And then the nitrogen makes 11. So A should be the answer for that one. And let's go ahead and finish it. An atom that has 7 valence electrons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Can make 1 bond. So the answer to that one should be A, 1 bond. How many valence electrons are in this molecule? We've got carbon, we've got 3 of them. Hydrogen, we've got 8 of them. Oxygen, we've got 2 of them. Carbon has 4 valence electrons. Hydrogen has 1. Oxygen has 6. 12, 8, 12. So add those up and you get 32. So the answer should be D. So number 3. So D, I'm checking my answer key to D. For number 4, which molecules Lewis structure contains an atom that violates the octet? Do you know how to tell which one that is? So if you're looking at the periodic table, starting with phosphorus and anything bigger of the nonmetals can violate the octet. So the answer is D. No other atoms there can violate the octet rule. All right, number 5. Lewis structure for carbon. One, 2, 3, 4. Which is D. Everybody good? Lewis structure for sulfur. It's just like oxygen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2 lone pairs, 2 single electrons. I've got it drawn like this. That's the answer. E. 2 pairs and 2 single electrons. Carbon. Three things around it, no lone pairs. This one is trigonal planar. Bond angles are 120 degrees. So that's D. Let me check the answer. 5. D. 6 is E. 7 is D. So this one. So 4 things around it. One of them is a pair of electrons. This is the one that makes the pyramid, with the pair of electrons at the apex. So that was trigonal pyramidal or pyramidal. And tetrahedral geometry is 109.5 degrees. 5 things around it. One of them is a pair of electrons. And that makes the seesaw shape. And number 11 has 5 things around it. But all of them are atoms. So when there's 5 things around it, and all of them are atoms, it's trigonal bipyramidal.
You said it was seesaw, right?
Yeah. E, 11 is B. This one's just drawn tricky. But oxygen is always, when it's bonding with 2 different things, it's always bent. And it's the tetrahedral shape. Bent, and then angle would be 109.5 degrees. Electron configurations. 1, 3, 5. This is 1s, 2s, 3s, 2p, 2p, 2p. Alright, look at the periodic table. Fluorine has 9 electrons in it, so you go 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 12. Which means 1s2, 2s2, 2p, 5. And that's A. 13. Phosphorus has 15. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So that one's going to be 2p6, 3s2, 3p3. So the answer there is D. Titanium. That one is 22. 4s, 2, 4, 6, 8, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 21, 22. That's going to be 3p6, 4s2, 3d2, which is B. Soluble and insoluble. Bromide is here, the exceptions are over here. Lead bromide is an exception. So the answer there should be B. Sodium sulfide. Sulfide is here. Anything sulfide is insoluble, except for these over here. It's in the exception. So this one is soluble. Silver nitrate, everything nitrate is soluble, so that's soluble. Calcium phosphate, phosphate is down here. These are the exceptions, and calcium isn't in there, so calcium phosphate is insoluble. Barium sulfate, sulfate is here. Anything sulfate is soluble except for these. The barium is in the exceptions, so 20 is insoluble. So there's 60. Okay. Redox reaction, number 21. Oxygen, -2, -2, -2. That's -6. There's no charge up here, so 0. So this has to be +6. There's 2 CRs, so I have to split that +6 between the CRs. So these are 3+. So CR is 3+, oxygen is 2-. Here oxygen is -2, so carbon has to be +2. Here CR is 0 because it's elemental. -2, -2, -4. So carbon has to be +4. So in this case, chromium goes from 3 down to 0. So that is gaining electrons, so that's reduced. And carbon is losing electrons. So chromium being reduced, carbon is the reducing agent. So it's A and C. A and C, so they have E there. Aluminum is elemental, so it's 0. This one's elemental too because it's just got fluorine in it. Aluminum is +3, fluorine is -1. So aluminum loses electrons, become positive. Fluorine gains electrons. So F is reduced, Al is oxidized. Oxidized. F is gaining electrons, Al is oxidized. So that's B and C. So that should be the answer, E. Fe2O3 minus 6 for the oxygen. No charge here, so 0. There's 2 Fe's. This has to be plus 6. So it's 3 plus. So that's C for 23. Yes. BR. So the way I told you to do this, first split off the potassium ion. Then you have this. You've got negative 6, negative 2, negative 2, negative 2, negative 2 for 4 oxygens. Negative 8. I bring the negative 1 down here. So for this to be true, this has to be plus 7. So BR is plus 7. So that one should be C. 24. 25. Split them off so you have aluminum. PO4, 3 minus. Negative 2, negative 2, negative 2, negative 2. For the 4 oxygens, negative 8. Bring down this charge, minus 3. That means this has to be positive 5. And that should be E 25. For the polarity one, least polar. So we've got carbon and nitrogen. And carbon is 2.0. Nitrogen is 3.0. Carbon and oxygen is 2.5. This is 2.5. Right. Carbon and nitrogen, 2.5. This is 3. Carbon and oxygen, oh, these are all carbon. Carbon and oxygen. Carbon and fluorine. Carbon and sulfur. Carbon and phosphorus. So this one should be D. Yes, D. So I eliminated 28 because this chart, I never fixed this chart. It's should be so if you follow those rules, you get carbon and nitrogen. 2.5 minus 0.5. So that puts you here. So the first one should be polar. Carbon and hydrogen. This one that's 0.5 should be in here.
Yeah, I'm talking about for carbon hydrogen.
Yeah, it should be non-polar.
Okay. Yeah.
But if you look at that chart, it's misleading. That's why I eliminated that one. And lithium, the fluorine, lithium, this one is 1.0 to 4.0. These are absolute value, by the way. 3.0, so that one is. The most polar bond is oxygen. Oxygen to carbon, oxygen to nitrogen, oxygen to oxygen, oxygen to hydrogen, oxygen to silicon, and 2.5, 3.5, 2.5, oxygen is 3.5, so I'll just do this. That one would be 0. So look for the most polar here. Nitrogen. Nitrogen is 2.1. Silicon is 1.8. Four, this is most polar bond. So silicon 30 should be E. Silicon. So if you do the ion swap, LiCl, lithium chloride, and then you end up with H2Cl. This H and that together makes H2Cl3. This one. H2Cl3 will decompose into H2O plus CO2. So that's the gas that's produced there. ACO2. All right, another gas evolution reaction. With sodium and chloride, and then the OH, and NH4, right? So we have this polyatomic ion, H, OH minus H. And that decomposes into H3 that decomposes into H2O. NH3 is a gas. So the products are this. H2O, NH3, and NaCl. That's C. C. Acid-base reaction. So the products here is to balance it. This is going to split out into H plus, and SO4 2 minus. And this splits into Na plus, and OH minus. So to make our water, we've got these two hydrogens and this OH. So I'm going to need a 2 here, such that I will then have Na plus, OH minus. And then I've got these 2H2O. And then these will go together, Na2 and SO4. So it's the 2 here and the 2 here that balances it. And that is 2 and 2, 2C for 33. HCl and NaOH. There's really no balancing here. The H and the OH make H2O, and we make NaCl out of those things. So that one is the first one. Yep. 34 should be A. What is the precipitate that forms? So we've got nitrate and Br. We've actually got 2 BRs, which works out. The lead here, since NO3 is negative, and there's 2 of them, this means it's Pb2 plus. We're going to put that with Na. Na2. Lost my mind this morning. Sodium nitrate and lead bromide. And that's the insoluble one, so that's the precipitate. PbVr2. Next, answer key. 35. D. KCl. NaBr. Swap the ions, we're going to have KBr. NaCl. Both of those are soluble, so this one's no reaction. So that should be E for 35. Is E. And my answer key is wrong. What do you guys have for 35?
For 35, PbVr2 is soluble.
You serious? Let me just take these back up.
Is that the answer?
E should be the answer to that one.
What?
E.
No reaction?
Yeah. Because KBr and NaCl are both soluble. What did y'all have for that?
I had
You got C,
D,
E,
D, D was as
D.
a
Yeah, I had D as well. I got D.
Okay, I have to fix that. I know you'd rather I didn't because all y'all had the wrong one. Okay, the last one. The net ionic equation. So the net ionic equation, this is soluble, this is not soluble. So no. It should be that one, although this is aqueous, solid. It is D for 37. Sorry, but I gotta make sure. Gotta fix your scores. Just give me your answer keys.
Wait. Can you like, do 35? I don't know how it's not. How is it not D? Oh.
I kept saying 35. 35 is D. 36 is E. Okay, I just looked at my answer key.
Okay,
All right, good. All right, good. All right, so y'all are all good. So you can keep your answer key. That's all I planned for today, was to go over the test.